Video game enthusiasts are in for a ride because it seems yet another video game adaptation is on the way. And this time, it's a new Tomb Raider series. The show is apparently being developed at Amazon Prime, and it'll be headed by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who you may have heard from films like Fleabag and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. She's agreed to work on a new Tomb Raider series and will give us a fresh look at the iconic and fearless hero, Lara Croft. This isn't the first time the character is being adapted to the big screen, though. But let's just say, those previous iterations left a lot to be desired. The part that has previously been played by Angelina Jolie and Alicia Vikander. The previous Tomb Raider movies were also based on the successful video game franchise that debuted in 1996, but fans always felt like they didn't really stay true to the games all that much, which is a huge surprise to me, since there's like more than 15 Tomb Raider video games to take inspiration from, especially the most recent, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which came out in 2018. Now that was an instant classic. The franchise has quite a long and tangled history when it comes to adaptations. In fact, Jolie's iteration of the character goes back almost 2 decades. She took on the character of the action-adventure heroine for the first time in 2001's Lara Croft Tomb Raider. And she returned for the film's 2003 sequel, Lara Croft Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life. After 15 years, Vikander finally stepped into Lara Croft's shoes in Tomb Raider. This served as a full-on remake. But the reason why you haven't seen or heard anything involving Lara was because Vikander's performance was regrettably brief. Sadly, the actor's talents were no longer required for the part. And why was that? Because as of July 2022, MGM no longer had the rights to make more Tomb Raider movies, and so a new agreement was made. It was for Tomb Raider video game developer Crystal Dynamics to produce a video game following MGM's acquisition by Amazon. And that finally now leads us to the main event, which is Phoebe working on the new series. And it seems like she's really committed. The star has been involved in tons of things throughout her career, including writing the screenplay of, starring in, and serving as the executive producer of her Emmy Award-winning show, Fleabag. The show is already hosted by the streamer's Prime Video division, and her services for Tomb Raider appear to be connected to her overall contract with Amazon. Despite the fact that she's most known for her remarkably direct romantic comedy series, she's recently experimented with science fiction and action films too. Waller-Bridge performed L3 Voice 37s in the Star Wars prequel movie, Solo: A Star Wars Story, in 2018. Waller-Bridge was also employed in 2021 to revise the No Time to Die screenplay. The 5th entry in the Indy trilogy, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, cast her as Helena. There she plays the role of Indiana Jones's goddaughter, placing her squarely in the archaeological action-adventure genre. Looks like she's going leaping from one treasure-hunting series to the next. That said, for now at least, no release date has been announced. Still, it looks like Tomb Raider fans will have tons of things to look forward to, because Amazon is going all in with a Tomb Raider shared universe. Well, this is according to The Hollywood Reporter anyway, who announced it on January 27, 2023. Alongside this new live-action series, the studio also has plans to make a new movie and at least one new video game. According to the article, Amazon wants to develop a multimedia story. This would be identical to what Disney and Marvel Studios have done with the wildly popular Marvel Cinematic Universe. Amazon is working with Dimitri M. Johnson's J Square Entertainment to do all of this. And as you'd expect, all of this isn't going to be cheap. It appears that Amazon is also spending heavily to create this common Tomb Raider universe. And I was absolutely shocked to know the extent of this investment. Why? Well, because it matches the streamer's entry into the universe of J.R.R. Tolkien with Lord of the Rings of Power. Like, just for context, it's been estimated that Amazon spent over $250 million. Yeah, you heard it right. A whopping $250 million acquiring the rights to Lord of the Rings alone. So, it stands to reason that the company will likely spend a fortune launching the Tomb Raider property. In terms of blockbuster remakes, Tomb Raider hasn't had the finest track record. But with Amazon's massive resources and a talented team behind it, perhaps a shared world will end up working out after all. But for all this to succeed, one thing is super important, and that is for Amazon to draw inspiration from the classic games. Let's face it, Tomb Raider has never been a successful Hollywood series. Despite several attempts over many years, even a legendary actress like Angelina Jolie could only ever deliver an okay at best movie. And so, the solution is pretty simple. Just go back to the stories and concepts of the original games, Tomb Raider from 1996 and Tomb Raider 2 from 1997. After all, the basis for Lara Croft's lasting success lies in her early adventures, despite the visuals appearing to have been produced by a potato. Without them, Amazon wouldn't be investing heavily in a shared universe for Tomb Raider in 2023. Both Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider 2 have two intriguing plot points, but they also give Phoebe Waller-Bridge room to inject her own unique twists and additions to the narrative. After all that time I've spent hyping up the games, I might as well give you an overview of the classics. In Tomb Raider, Lara is pitted against Jacqueline Natala, a wicked Atlantean ruler who poses as a successful businesswoman, as they both search for the Scion. This narrative could serve as the basis for fascinating Tomb Raider Season 1. But the Amazon Prime Video TV show might add its own refinements to the game's basic storyline. Just for sake of an example, it can provide personal information about Lara and Natla to highlight their conflict. And after that, there's the plot for the second game, which pits Lara against the annoying Marco Bartoli in what's literally a race across the world to get the Dagger of Zion. The storyline introduces both organized crime and urban aspects to Lara's environment. It's even more well-suited for live action. After being overlooked by earlier adaptations, the characters and fundamental ideas of Tomb Raider 2 are ready for the big screen. These tales not only appeal to nostalgia, but Amazon's adaptation of the first several Tomb Raider games would guarantee that the originality of the source material is preserved. Before Amazon starts producing the Tomb Raider series, someone needs to give a word of advice to the directors here. The classic Tomb Raider influence can make Amazon's reboot fun. Amazon may be tempted to adopt a tougher, more realistic approach, something that concentrates solely on Lara's archaeological explorations and human adversaries. And sure, yeah, it'd be cool and all, but there's one big issue. It would eliminate the fantastical and hokier aspects of her storyline. This pitfall ignores the fact that Lara Croft's fame and background are greatly influenced by these bizarre, gimmicky components. In the 1990s, Lara broke away from the PlayStation protagonist pack with Atlantean freaks and enormous fire-breathing dragons, and these were the reasons for that success. Hopefully, these elements will also be part of her future Amazon relaunch. If you ask me, Amazon should keep its version of the Tomb Raider property from taking itself too seriously. How? by paying homage to the wilder aspects of the first Tomb Raider games. The inclusion of mysterious Chinese temples with floating guards, and the random dinosaurs here and there can certainly help make the tone feel just right. Anyway, what do you think about the Amazon Prime Tomb Raider series currently in development? See you in the next one!